fiasco. Where is the moral responsibility for 10 years of the Sri Krishna report, which the Maharashtra government and successive Congress chief ministers have just blinked over? So, while I do believe there has to be a place for moral responsibility, absolutely certainly that is the first demand of democracy. The first demand of democracy is ethics. It is not the law, actually, ethics. And in fact, that is why there was so much debate when the Gujarat riots were taking place, even within the NDA, and certainly there was, the country was in uproar. That was, I think, the first riot in which the media and civil society very rightly actually it showed the world what was happening. So, moral responsibility, as I said, is absolutely the key to the functioning of democracy. But in our country, where is it?
Alright, you're saying everybody else isn't taking moral responsibility, so why should Narendra Modi? But Prakash Javadekar, we've seen Lal Krishna Advani himself, a stalwart of the BJP, express regret for the demolition of the Babri Masjid. We've seen this Prime Minister Manmohan Singh apologize to the country for the Sikh riots of 1984. He could have turned around and said, I wasn't even in the political frame at that time, why should I apologize? But he took the higher moral ground. Why doesn't Narendra Modi, 8 years after the Godhra riots of 2002, say, okay, what happened was wrong, I accept moral responsibility for it, and I will prosecute and ensure that whoever is responsible for it will be brought to book?
That is what exactly he is doing. Let us understand, he has not justified. BJP has never justified any riot, be it in Bhagalpur or Bhiwandi or anywhere in the country. If it happens, it is bad. But that does not mean that you are responsible for that. Here is the case and the facts. Now the SIT has come, SIT appointed by the Supreme Court. The special investigation team has come with the report that it was Tista Setalwad and their coterie which went door to door and convinced the victims to tell certain things which were not correct. And now those were the false affidavit and everything has come into light.
No, but should there be no sense of remorse for what happened while he was chief minister? He was in charge of the state when at least 1,000 people died. Unofficial figures say the toll was much more, but 1,000 odd people died. Shouldn't there be a sense of remorse for what happened? Why is there no trace of apology for what happened in 2000?
At least after 7 years, we must remember 3 things. That figures cannot be manipulated that way, that unofficially the figures are more. Figures are very concrete. There are Supreme Court, High Court, various commissions and SITs and everything, and figure is confirmed. In which this is the first case where the state government, for maintaining the law and order, 200 people are killed in police firing. Nowhere in the history of independent India, and so many thousands of riots, so many people were on the spot killed for rioting, and that is the duty of the government. And as I told you, Narendra Modi, I have never heard him justifying of any kind of riot or communal breakup, never.
Alright, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, spokesperson of the Congress party, is now also with us. Dr. Singhvi, we just played out an exclusive interview with Narendra Modi in which he's really hit out at all those who accuse him for being responsible for the Gujarat riots of 2002, saying, if I'm found guilty, hang me publicly, but I have nothing to apologize for. He says 7 years hence, let's not just keep talking about what happened in 2004, let's look beyond. Let's look at my development record. Let's focus on that. Why is the clock stuck at what happened in 2002?
It's a very strange statement. We are all been looking ahead, but that doesn't mean that you can't punish for the past. This is just nothing but a statement designed for the elections to try to get sympathy. What is this air of a martyr about? This air of a martyr is about a chief minister who, as a sitting chief minister, had a pogrom with thousands of people killed, thousands, majority of a particular community, persons killed, and for the first time in the history of India, the entire Gujarat to out. Several reports and doubts about the impartiality of the administration. But this is all history, we know it. And
All right, that's what brings me to the second part of the center stage debate tonight. Narendra Modi says, look at development. I'm the best chief minister. Everyone is saying so. My development record speaks for itself. Industrialists love me. Everybody in the state of Gujarat loves me. And I have a very, very strong record. Will the people of India, 5 years from now, if he's heading the BJP in the elections, will the people of India look at that development record, or will they hold 2002 against him? That's the second part of the center stage debate tonight. MJ Akbar, your thoughts on whether Narendra Modi's hope of the wounds healing with time will really fructify as we go forward?
Well, I don't think that his track record will ever be clean of the memory of Gujarat. That is something that will stay with him, just as Narasimha Rao's track record can never be clean of the supervision of the Bombay riots, of the Sri Krishna report, and so on and so forth. I mean, you had just now, during the beginning of this election campaign, in its early phase, a journalist, a Sikh journalist, who sent such a sharp reminder of riots that took place in 1984. It still simmers in the consciousness of people, and how can they forget, because they've seen it themselves. So certain things cannot be erased from the record, but we have seen it in balance. People saw Rajiv Gandhi and they took it in balance, saw other things about him, and either elected him or didn't elect him. Similarly, they saw in Narasimha Rao, yes, he had supervised a complete what would be called lack of responsibility on that incident, and more important to me actually was the way in which the riots were managed. But they saw economic reforms and so on and so forth, and in fact during the assembly elections after the Babri Masjid riots, the Congress won in many states. So I mean, it's a very difficult question, Rahul. I really do not know the answer, and what the record says is very, very ambiguous. People have, in Gujarat itself, people after all have voted for for Narendra Modi twice.
That's happened in the state of Gujarat. The question is, will that happen across the country as well? Because here clearly is a man who's seeing himself in a far bigger national role as things go along. Prakash Zavadekar, is this an albatross Narendra Modi shall carry around his neck for all time to come? We've seen with Mr. Titler, 25 years hence, he's still held accountable, even though he says that there is no evidence against him in the court of law. All the cases are falling flat, but yet public perception is that he is guilty and they haven't forgiven him.
It is not about only public perception about Jagdish Titler. Let us understand that on the TV, on your channel itself, here is one witness who is staying in Canada. He is on record, he is on camera saying that I am willing to come and depose before the court, and I am ready to give input, and I am ready to depose. But you are not allowing, and CBI giving clean chit after Congress declares him a candidature. Second, the real point is that Rajiv Gandhi did justify the Sikh carnage, the worst ever communal carnage ever taken place in the national capital. He justified it by actually reversing the science, saying that when the tree fails, the earth tremors. It is actually the other way around. But he justified. Then, as MJ Akbar was saying, people see in it in balance. Here, he has never justified anything, and the track record is very simple. I come from Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, thousands of cotton growing farmers are committing suicide. In Andhra, it's a Congress state, thousands of farmers committing suicide. And the cotton growers in Gujarat are flourishing. Why? Because he has managed successfully the micro irrigation, which assures the water, and which Congress governments have failed successively in Andhra and Maharashtra. So if this difference is to be visible and seen, why people will not love him? They will.
All right. The BJP clearly hopeful that his developmental record will speak for itself, and this one blot that he has on his career graph will get wiped away with time. Whether or not that happens is something this channel will be tracking very, very closely. For the moment, we're heading into a break. When we come back, we'll shift our attention to round 2 of the battle for India. Naveen Patnaik, Chiranjeevi, SM Krishnan, Prakash Jha, a whole host of others will be with us, and we'll talk to them about the biggest phase in the battle for India 2009. Stay with us. Welcome back to Center Stage. We'll now talk about the second phase of polling. A lot of heat, and literal heat in fact, on the campaign trail as India went to polling in the biggest phase in this battle for India. Naveen Patnaik, a man who's broken away from the NDA, a move described as being a game changer. The BJD chief state wrapped up polling today. He's with us now from Bhubaneswar. Mr. Patnaik, everybody is tracking the fortunes of your party very, very closely. The anti-incumbency factor breaking away from the BJP. How confident are you at the end of polling in this state?
Well, you'll see for yourself on the 16th of May, as will everyone in the country, about all the results in the country. But as far as Odisha is concerned, which is my concern, is the Biju Janata Dal, the regional party of Odisha, will do very well. We'll form a very comfortable majority government in the state, and we'll send a number of MPs to the Lok Sabha.
Your allies, and especially people in the BJP, are saying you used the BJP for 9 years and then very conveniently dumped them at the altar because you thought your fortunes would be better off without the BJP. You're being labelled as a rank opportunist.
Well, you say we used them all along. They really didn't have an entry to Odisha till they had an alliance with our party. And secondly, Kondhamal is a very serious matter which happened a few months ago. A very serious and a very tragic matter. So naturally, our alliance soured and it fell apart, which was inevitable.
All right, Prakash Javadekar, your sense on the loss of the departure of the BJD. What's the sense that you're getting? How much will the BJP suffer because it doesn't have this ally in this critical state?
The ground level report which we have got today, as the Odisha has completed the election, Naveen Babu will regret parting ways with BJP, because in Indian ethos people don't like doing this kind of betrayal. Even family or public life, people don't approve of this, and he will learn it by a hard way. The only worry for us is that in the meantime he has unnecessarily given a little chance for Congress. We are holding our ground, and Naveen will be regretting, and unnecessarily some seats will go to Congress, which was not necessary.
All right, let's get a sense from the Congress. Abhishek Manu Singhvi is also with us. How much is the Congress hoping to gain because of this split in the BJP-BJD alliance? Not so much because of the work that Congress and its candidates are doing on the ground, but because of the fact that the vote got split today.
I haven't heard much of the intervening discussion because of your blackout on my end. But let me tell you that there is a huge amount of enthusiasm for the Congress. The Congress has been the national party in Odisha. We've been out of power for a while. BJP, of course, doesn't count for anything in Odisha. And the anti-incumbency of the Patnaik government will make us do very well in both the elections. I have no doubt about it. From our rather unfortunate tally earlier, we will increase many times over as far as Parliament is concerned. As far as the Assembly is concerned, we will do extremely well. I can't give an exact figure, but I think that the Congress, with the support of some other parties, is likely to make the government in the Assembly also.
All right, let's now get in a word from Prakash Jha, the LJP's candidate from Bihar's West Champaran district. He's also with us. Prakash, from Bollywood to the heat and dust of politics, how difficult has this journey been? Far tougher to be a politician than to go out and direct a film about politics of Bihar?
Well, it hasn't been difficult for me because right from the beginning, I have been making movies which deal with society, which deal with the development that takes So maybe, Damul or Mrityudan, Gangajal and Aparan and now Rajniti, they are all not like one has been sitting in an isolated place and writing a screenplay. It is all everyday experience that I have gathered over the period of time working in in the field.
No, but in your movie Ganga Jal, you spoke about corruption in politics. You've also spoken about Bahubalis. Now you're a part of the system. Your own party, the LJP, has a large number of strongmen and candidates with tainted backgrounds. You've now become a part of the system. Does that now give you the right to critique the system as well?
Well, I do agree with you. I mean, this is one menace that we have. The kind of people who are, there in every party. I mean, every party for that matter. But I am what I am. I have become what I have because of my belief in faith, and it is my earnest belief that if you work diligently through a dignified process and you persevere to achieve something, you definitely will be able to do it.
Alright, you're hoping to be able to change the system from within. Let's now get in a word from Vidisha. Sushma Swaraj of the BJP is with us. Ma'am, you've kept a very low profile this time round, spending a lot of time in your constituency, not so much time in Delhi, not travelling around other parts as the BJP star campaign as you did in previous elections. But your own seat, they're saying, is really a walkover for you. Why then so much concentration on your own constituency?
Yes, I'll tell you only what I picked up from the people, and people are really thinking this time that NDA government should come and Advani ji should become the Prime Minister. And I think they have made up their mind. In all my meetings, I have seen it happening on the ground.
Alright, Prakash Zavadekar, your sense on whether the party really underutilized Sushma Swaraj by confining her to her own constituency? There was a walkover over there, the Congress candidate didn't even show up.
No, there is little confusion. She is already travelling. She has held many rallies in basically Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, the area which she is in charge of. But now, after her poll today, she is going all over the country. So her campaign was planned like that only, keeping the timetable intact, and we don't change timetable just because it has become a walkover. She has helped other candidates in Madhya Pradesh, because after all Madhya Pradesh is one state where we have 25 seats out of 29, and we have to keep that, and we are keeping those seats.
Alright, Abhishek, your sense of the situation in Madhya Pradesh, in this Hindi heartland, the BJP, all the reports that we are getting from the ground seem to indicate that the BJP is doing really well. It's holding its ground and it's also poaching into your seats.
I don't know what the basis of those reports are. Now that the channels have become wary and cautious of opinion polls and exit polls, you started using words like our reports and surveys. All I can say is that if large published surveys and exit polls are so wrong, then your reports and your surveys can be even more wrong. Please go there. Please go and deal with the situation. From our 4 seats, we're going to increase many times over. Last time in the assembly elections, we had a vote swing of 4%. 4% is a huge vote swing in favor of the Congress. The reason we didn't win the assembly was that the previous election which we lost had a large gap of 9, 10, 11% vote swing against us. So it required more than one election to make it up. But a 4% vote swing in the last assembly election a few months ago gives you an idea of the trend. The trend is entirely in favor of the Congress.
Alright, Sushma ji, one comment of yours that has been widely reported across the national media is your statement about the NDA not being able to form the government on its own. Was that really a Freudian slip, or do you stand by that statement? Did you say it's a complete slip of tongue?
I did not make any comment inadvertently. That was quoted out of context. The question was on post-poll alliances. I have always been sure of NDA coming to the power with absolute majority, and I was never in any confusion. Even today I am saying BJP will emerge as the single largest party and will be way ahead of Congress, and NDA will get absolute majority and form government on its own.
Alright, the political parties are clearly saying their bit, but MJ Akbar, before we end, I'll let you have the final word. Your sense, 2 phases gone, 3 more hugely exciting phases in the Battle of India still left. Where is the wind in India blowing at this time?
Well, actually, if you go back to Odisha, the question there is, Congress by itself is the largest single party in Odisha, or has been. It was only the combination of BJD and BJP which actually effectively took it far beyond the reach of the Congress. If Naveen Patnaik is right, and if what he says is right, then we will have to see whether he actually increased his vote share from the Congress pocket, or did he increase his vote share from the BJP pocket. If he has taken votes away from the Congress pocket, then there will be one situation. If he has taken votes away from the BJP pocket, then there will be a separate situation. But if the votes are at a standstill, then you will get a very, very confused assembly, and we don't know what will happen after that.
That's only for Orissa. All India, MJ Akbar, people want to know, using all the experience that you have, where is the wind blowing at this time? Do you want to take a guess?
I'll just, the only thing that seems to me happening, I think the first pattern of this election is actually emerging. You are getting state level sweeps. You're not getting a national level pattern, but in different states, certain forces which have combined successfully, who have got their mathematics right. For example, Andhra Pradesh. I think Andhra Pradesh, the alliance, the very simple fact that these 2%, 3%, 4%, votes have come together is giving an edge. In Bihar, it is the alliance which is working, and the fact that the other side simply, the alliance has imploded, exploded, you say what you like, that is what is giving the edge, and in fact you might get very decisive results.
Alright, so clearly MJ Akbar not in a mood to take a guess on an all-India basis, and that really shows the intricacies of this election and why it is turning out to be so completely unpredictable. For the moment, Prakash Zavadekar, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, MJ Akbar and all the guests who joined us on Center Stage tonight, thank you so much for tuning in. What we're doing right now is ending the show. Up next is Action Station. I'll see you again same time at 9 PM tomorrow. Till then, from all of us here, thanks for watching.